It's safe to say that right now we are spoilt for choice when it comes to cozy games. And with there being more cozy games than ever to choose from, it can get difficult to try and figure out which ones to buy. So today I thought I'd make a list of my most played cozy games. And these are games that, despite there being so many brand new releases, keep me coming back for more and often either become part of my daily routine or become one of my go-to comfort games. And in 10th place, we actually have a pretty recent game, and that is Story of Seasons Grand Bazar. Now, when this game was first announced, I in no way thought that this was going to become one of my most played cozy games of all time. Yet I absolutely fell in love with it. And even though I have felt a little bit of farming fatigue, especially in 2025, this just seemed to have cut through all of that. Because even though the game begins like every farming sim does, with you moving into a brand new town to set up your farm, the daily routine just feels different enough that it doesn't feel like every other farming sim. You see, in Story of Seasons Grand Bazar, not only do you take care of your farm, but you also have a weekly market stall that you also need to see to. So this means that not only do you need to stock your stall each and every week, but you also need to run it. And this just adds something a little bit special to your normal farming sim routine. Because instead of you selling your produce each and every day for money, you instead need to keep it for the entire week until you run your market on the Saturday. And this means that in order to make as much money as possible, you're going to want to take all of your usual farming sim goods, like your milk and your crops, and process them into something that's a little bit more expensive. And as the seasons change, so does the produce that you make. As not only will you have different seeds available for you to buy, you'll also find that the items that will sell best at the stall will also change, meaning that you need to change up the way you process your goods in order to meet demand. But the thing that really made me fall in love with Story of Seasons Grand Bazar is the characters. Because for the first time ever in a Story of Seasons game, the characters are voice acted. And this to me just makes a world of difference when it comes to the characters. Because not only was the main story voice acted, but also each of your special cutscenes with the characters as your friendship grows. And this made what could have otherwise been a normal farming sim just feel a little bit special. And the crazy part is, I think I'm at around 80 hours so far, but that number is almost certainly gonna go up. This is a game I keep on finding myself coming back to, as it's so easy to pick up for 5 minutes or play for like 5 hours at a time. Okay, this one is going to be controversial, but I do see it as cozy, so I think I'm going to include it. I was debating this for a while. We're going to go for No Man's Sky, which I have a lot of time in on both PC, Nintendo Switch, and now Nintendo Switch 2 as well. Now this game can be very survival focused if you want it to be, but the beautiful thing about No Man's Sky is that all of the settings are fully customizable, meaning that you can take literally all of the survival elements of No Man's Sky out and turn this into a space exploration game. And basically, the fun with No Man's Sky is every planet that you see, you can land on and you can explore. Now, not all planets are made equally. Some of them are just going to be barren wastelands with a few resources, but others are going to be absolutely gorgeous landscapes filled with new creatures that you can pet, you can befriend, and even ride. You can also build a base, you can farm. There is so much for you to do, and it is truly endless fun. Now, this is a fantastic port on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, but PC, it does look flawless. The reason why I keep on coming back to this though is this is another one of those games that has had constant updates. My favorite thing to do in this game is to just hop in my ship, go off to a brand new solar system and explore. And that's not to say there isn't anything else to do, because there really is. There's loads of missions and side quests for you to get involved with. But to me, what makes this cozy is just the exploration. Now, do be warned, this has a pretty steep learning curve, which I've been helping my dad out with this because he's been struggling with that. But once you get to grips with the controls and all the systems, you can make this whatever you want it to be. And even though it's not conventionally cozy, I do feel like sometimes the coziest games can be found in the most uncoziest of places. Next up, we have Fields of Mistria. Now, even though this feels like it's quite far down in the list, that is for one very big reason. I actually forced myself to stop playing this. You see, Fields of Mistria is a farming sim crossed with an RPG, which I'm now realizing is a common trait for being in this list. But the reason I made myself stop playing it is that Fields of Mistria is actually still in early access. And I decided that I love this game so much that I wanted to stop playing it and restart when it fully releases, which we've been told is sometime in 2026. Now, much like the other games on this list, Fields of Mistria is a farming sim with a bit of a difference. This sees you move into the town of Mistria, a town with quite a few problems. You see, not only is this a town that's been brought down to ruins after an earthquake struck, but this earthquake also suddenly caused magic to flow through the land and begin causing problems. And of course, it's going to be your job to try and fix everything. Now, they've called this a spiritual successor to farm sim RPGs of the late 90s. And I absolutely love the entire aesthetic of the game, both the sound effects and the visuals. And even though you can do a lot of the things you're used to in farming sims, like there's a mine that you can go and explore, there's also romance, and of course the ability to farm and have animals. But the thing that truly made this game special to me is the characters. You see, the story is all to do with you uncovering a strange magic that has returned to the land. But the thing that makes it special is how you get to know the villagers. As the special part of Fields of Mistria is that even though you are the main character, you very much feel like you're part of the community, with all the other villagers pulling their weight alongside of you. And each of the villagers is just written so well. They have their own distinct personalities, and you can see them interacting with one another even while you're not talking to them. I think one of the best ways that showcases this is the tavern nights. And this is when once a week, all the villagers get together in the tavern to hang out with one another. And you can walk in and more or less be a part of anyone's conversation that you want to be. And this could be you listening in on a group of people playing D&D, which is always very entertaining to see. You also get to see the kids plan mischievous adventures, wine nights, and so many other fun surprises. And this just made the town feel alive in a way so few farming sims have managed to do. Now, I've played about 80 hours so far, haven't got near to finishing the main story whatsoever, and as I said earlier, decided to stop so I could enjoy the full game and its release without spoiling everything. So this is most definitely a game that I will have many, many more hours in. We've just got to hope that when it fully releases, it comes to more than just the PC, which I do think it will. Next up, with over 100 hours at this point, is Fantasy Life. Again, this is another recent game to add to my list, but it's here for a reason, and that is because it's been absolutely fantastic. And the best part is, I know that my playtime is going to go up way higher than it is currently, because in December we're getting a brand new update, bringing loads more to the game and giving me another reason to log back in and get obsessed. Now, if you have somehow missed the Fantasy Life hype, let me tell you why I cannot stop playing it. Fantasy Life is described as being a slow-paced RPG, and this effectively has everything that you love about an RPG mixed with a lot of life sim elements. As not only can you make your own character, you can fish, you can farm, you can forage, and even craft. You also have a whole RPG-like story for you to do, effectively giving all of the life sim mechanics a purpose. Now, the story itself sees you stumble across an island filled with ancient ruins. But before you're able to even figure out what this ancient civilization was, you're transported 1,000 years into the past. And even though you're on the same island, it looks very different now. As in this time, the island is actually thriving and full of life. And it becomes your job through time traveling to try and figure out what happened to this civilization and how to stop it. Now, like many RPGs, the mainline story will see you needing to level up. But you see, in Fantasy Life, it isn't just the combat that you're reliant on. It's also all of your skills, or as they call it, lives. And this means leveling up anything from your combat skills like being a mage, to your foraging skills like farming and mining, to also crafting based skills as well. And the best part is every single one of these skills has a purpose in the game, so none of it feels like mindless grinding. The best part to me about Fantasy Life though is just how much there is to do, because not only do you have the mainline story and trying to level up each of your lives, there's also open world areas for you to explore and dungeons, both of which are well worth spending your time in as they'll get you rare resources and loot. And then if that's not enough, you also have an area on the island which you can decorate and terraform as much as you want. And the best part is not only can you live there, but also so can a lot of the characters that you come across throughout the game. Fantasy Life just truly has a little bit of everything, meaning that I find it so easy to pick up whenever I have a spare 5 minutes or a spare couple of hours. So I honestly can't recommend it enough. Next up is a game I have never spoken about on this channel, but it's about time I change that. We're going to talk about Blueprints. Now, technically, according to the Xbox, I have maybe 500 hours in this, but I don't think that's entirely true, and you're going to see why in a second. And it's actually so good that it's been nominated multiple times at the Game Awards, including for Best Indie Game. So you don't even have to take my word for it. This is just a fantastic game. And that's because it's a puzzle game with a bit of a difference. Now, this is a hard game to describe, mainly because it doesn't really fall into any genre. There's strategy in it, there's puzzles that you need to figure out, but it's also a roguelike in that no 2 times you play it will ever be the same. But the thing that makes Blueprints special is the story that you uncover while figuring out each of the puzzles. You see, you play as a young boy whose grandfather has just passed away, and you are the sole heir to his inheritance, including this huge estate. The only catch is, in order for you to get your inheritance, you have to find a secret area called Room 46. The only issue is Mount Holly isn't just any ordinary home, as this is a mysterious manor with shifting rooms. Now, the game's premise starts off simple. Every doorway that you walk into, you'll have the opportunity to choose between 3 different rooms to place there. And these rooms vary greatly. They can have puzzles inside of them, which if you solve, you'll get given items. Some rooms, like the bedrooms, will give you bonuses. And there's even shops that you might come across as well. And at least at the beginning, your entire goal is to try and draft a pathway through the manor without making a dead end. The only catch is, if you manage to make yourself a dead end and you can't continue, or you run out of how many rooms you can walk through, you have to end the day. And the next day, when you return to the manor to give it another go, the floor plan will have been completely reset, and you'll have to start from the lobby all over again. But you don't lose absolutely everything, as you do get to keep one pretty big thing, and that is your knowledge. Because yep, this is one of those games where you are going to have to learn as you progress. And the game even warns you that this is something where you're going to want to have a notepad out at all times. You see, this is one of those games where everything could be a secret that you might need later on in the game. So each room you walk into, you write everything down that you can see. And the best part is, bit by bit, the more you play the game, the more you unravel the story and the true meaning to everything that you do. As it turns out, the story about Room 46 is so much more than just a secret room. There is truly nothing more satisfying than figuring out one of the big puzzles that the game has. And I think the story is so good, it genuinely made me cry when we unearthed some of the secrets. It's not really a game I've spoken about before, but it has been such a slept on one by the cozy community. And I can't tell you enough how much you need to try this out. And I really hope this comes to the Switch too sometime next year, so more people can experience it. Next up is another game I haven't spoken about for a while, and I have well over 100 hours in, and that is Coral Island. Now, as far as I'm aware, this is a game that is planning on coming to the Nintendo Switch sometime in the future. And truly, I need this to happen, because this is one of my favorite farming sims of all time. Coral Island has a little bit of a different vibe to all of the farming sims we've spoken about before, as this one is rooted in nature. Oh, and it also has mermaids, which makes it even better. Now, this sees you leave the big city to start a brand new life on a small island. And this will see you fish, farm, forage, and even take to the ocean to start cleaning it up. But this is a game full of surprises. Like take for example the ocean. This is filled with mer people and a mer city which you can go visit and help out in, and you can even date the mer people. This is also an absolutely massive farming sim. Not only is the island huge which you can go and explore, but there's also 70 different NPCs, all of which you can talk to and interact with. There's also 25 different dateable villages, and that makes it so difficult to choose who to settle down with. Now, the whole game is essentially around trying to make Coral Island a better place for everyone. So alongside of you doing your regular farming and ranching, you'll also spend your time completing each of the bundles, heading off into the mines, cleaning the ocean, and helping out a number of the residents, and not just the human ones. And my favorite part, which is taking part in community events. And this is truly where Coral Island thrives, because once you do a festival and an event in Coral Island, no other farming sim will ever match, as these have really fun mini games for you to take part in and are also absolutely stunning. This is a farming sim that truly feels alive, and you can get so much out of a single playthrough. And trust me, there is so much to do that this isn't a farming sim which you will finish in year one alone. Next up is a game I've got over 300 hours in, if not more, and that is Palia. Now, I think this is a pretty easy one to see why I keep on coming back to it, and that is because it's a free-to-play game with constant updates. The most recent one that got me coming back was the fact that they added ranching into the game. Now, I think it's pretty clear to see that I am not playing this on the Nintendo Switch. I do not rate the Nintendo Switch port whatsoever, and I find myself literally never picking it up on there. Now, if you haven't heard of Palia before, this is a live sim adventure MMO. So this is effectively a live sim where you interact with the world alongside other people. And if you're someone like me who's not really an MMO person or has had some not so great experiences playing MMOs, don't worry, this game isn't like that whatsoever. As this game doesn't really do much to make it an MMO, essentially you just run around the world where other people will also run around the world. And although there is some interaction with other people, like you can catch bugs together, chop down trees, and even play mini games together, but there's no raids, no boss fights, and nothing you can really mess up. So that means there is no pressure to playing with others. The reason that I keep on coming back to Palia though is for the story. You see, in Palia, humans were long believed to be extinct, but one day you showed up alongside thousands of other players who are also humans. And the story itself centers around trying to figure out what exactly made the humans go extinct and how to avoid it from happening once again. And the story itself is so detailed, there's so many secrets to uncover in so many fun ways. Like there's different dungeons for you to go explore and get snippets of information from books. You can also run around and talk to each of the villagers, and you'll also be sent on various quests to try and uncover even more information. And as you progress through the story, you'll encounter more characters and get closer to the truth of what really happened. Now, because this is a live sim, you can also do all of your classic stuff. You can farm, you can forage, you also have your own house to decorate and design. And the best part is about Palia is how they've handled microtransactions. The only microtransactions that exist in the game so far are cosmetic. So that's outfits, pets, and also different skins for your house. So all of the other cozy gaming mechanics have no pay to win or no money involved in them whatsoever, which does really make this stand out to the way other games have monetized cozy. The advantage of this being a free-to-play game though is the constant updates. They're constantly giving us new snippets of story. We recently got a new area to explore as well with brand new resources. So this is a game that you can keep on coming back to, having new things to do, new events, and new challenges for you to encounter. The next game we have on our list is very similar, and that is Disney Dreamlight Valley. Again, another game that I have over 300 hours in so far. Now this one is similar to Palia in that it's a game that keeps on giving. The only difference is not everything it gives is for free. You see, Disney Dreamlight Valley, I find, is my go-to game when I don't know what I want to play, as the beauty of it is there's constantly missions and quests for you to do. Now, the real fun in Disney Dreamlight Valley does come from the characters. You get to build an entire valley with all of your favorite Disney characters inside of it, with each of them with their own unique quests and things you need to help them out with. Now, one great thing about Disney Dreamlight Valley is there's so much to do, as not only do you have the characters and their quests to do, there's also the ability to decorate your valley, which, as you can see, no judgment here, I have not done much of. There's a battle pass where some of the stuff is free to obtain. There's also this thing called Dream Snaps, which I do really like, and this is a photo competition that you can enter where other players will vote for the pictures they like the most, and depending on where you place, you'll actually earn in-game currency. And I think that's the reason I have so many hours in this. There's just a lot of content in this game, as not only are they releasing a brand new DLC every year that the game has been out, they've also been doing free updates to the mainline game as well. So this means you just constantly get given new characters with their own quest lines to do, new mainline story to carry out, and if you buy the DLCs, new areas as well. And since the brand new DLC just released called Wish Blossom Ranch, my hours are already going up. And I gotta say, this DLC is actually a lot better than I was expecting. The only thing that does worry me about the way Disney Dreamlight Valley are doing things is whether this is going to sort of turn out like The Sims 4. As much like The Sims 4, this has a paid DLC, it also has a paid battle pass, and paid items. And if you start adding up all of the things that you can buy in Disney Dreamlight Valley right now, it's starting to get pretty expensive. So I do wonder how much longer these constant DLCs are going to go for. In second place, we have Stardew Valley. I'm so glad I could finally say, for the first time ever, after spending over 300 hours in Stardew Valley, I finished the community center. I did it. It finally happened. And then I discovered how the community center is really only about halfway through the game. If you didn't know, this is currently the highest rated game on Steam of all time. And that's for a reason. And even though when Stardew Valley first released, it had pretty great reviews, that alone isn't the reason why it's become one of the best games of all time. Because the thing that makes Stardew Valley truly special is how it's evolved over time. As not only has ConcernedApe constantly released new bug patches and quality of life features, we've also gotten huge content updates along the way as well. And the wild part is, even though ConcernedApe is working on a brand new game as we speak, Stardew Valley is still being updated. But the reason I keep on coming back to Stardew Valley is not only because it's my comfort game, but also because it's just so Moorish. Because I find myself saying the words, just one more day, for far too long. And I have found myself playing this into the early hours of the morning, also far too often. And I think that's because this has the secret magic of having a gameplay loop that just feels satisfying. And every single time you finish a day in the game, you have a list of things you want to go and explore and do the very next day that makes this a game you can't put down. And every single playthrough, you'll discover a brand new secret. I also think this is a game which each playthrough will never be the same. Be it you discovering brand new secrets or areas in the game you never knew existed, or you deciding to date a different character and getting a whole different experience through that. Stardew Valley is one of those games where you can have a playthrough that lasts for years and you still wouldn't have experienced everything this game has to offer. This is also unbelievable value for money. Not only is this great value for money at full price, but this is on sale so often as well. And it still blows my mind that every single update we've got for the game has all been completely for free. The final game on this list, and the game I have over 3,000 hours in, and it's gonna be more, is Animal Crossing New Horizons. I cannot believe that in the year 2026, we are getting a brand new update to one of my favorite games of all time. But here we are, and I couldn't be more excited. If you are someone who has never tried Animal Crossing before, let this be your sign. Now, I think this has been a game that's been close to a lot of people's hearts, purely because of just when it released. As this released in the UK, the day before we went into lockdown. And instead of seeing my friends in the lab each and every day, we met up on someone's Animal Crossing island together instead. And this was the main way that I saw friends, this was the main way that I socialized, and this was the main way that I kept track of what time of day it was inside of my flat. And during the pandemic, this gave me a reason to wake up in the morning to check my turnip prices. I would text my friends often to see what their prices were as well. And in the many, many meetings I had to sit through, this also got me through that. But pandemic aside, Animal Crossing New Horizons just did so many things right. This is truly a game that can become a part of your daily routine. After all, it is based on in real life time. And the magic is you can just spend your time doing whatever you want. Be it earning money to try and pay back some of your loans. You can also spend it befriending and helping some of the villagers. One thing a lot of us found ourselves doing was villager hunting to try and find our favorite villager on Nookmar Islands. Or you can do one of the things this game excels at the most, which is decorating. This is just the true definition of a feel-good game. There is no way you can't smile when you have a villager running over, telling you that they missed you and wanting to tell you all about their day. And I am so glad that Nintendo are giving us a brand new reason to play once again. Let me know in the comments down below what your top 3 most played cozy games are. And if you want to see my favorite games, so not necessarily the games that I've spent the most time on, but the ones I cherish the most, click this video here.